Hello and welcome to Spiritual Librarian. I am so delighted to have Katrina Laflin on the show today. And Katrina is one of the authors in Beyond the Shift, which is an anthology with 12 beautiful souls who have written their story. And I would love for you, Katrina, to share with our audience just a little bit more about yourself.
I am a landscape architect by trade. And some years ago, I sensed that something was happening that I was supposed to be part of. And over the years, different avenues of spiritual growth, I encountered numerology. And numerology really resonated with me, spoke to me, and I started on this path. Numerology is my favorite tool to help other people kind of discover their authentic selves, their authentic life, and to help them on their path. I feel so fortunate to be part of Beyond the Shift and coming to realize this long journey I've been on has really led me to be part of this shift in consciousness. And it's so amazing as I'm, getting my sneak peek read of all of the chapters in this book. I'm just completely one after another blown away at how each experience, all of this information being brought together, and how it's coalescing into this anthology. It's just it just completely blows me away. So I'm a numerologist, I'm a gardener, I'm a cat mom. Have been married to my husband for 10 years, and we are ridiculous. Like
I love it.
We really are. We're just like, I look at us and I'm like, how could, like, we have this great story and this whole thing, and it's all there. It's in my chapter. So
yeah. I am so delighted that you said yes to being a part of this book. And you know what, we're going to slide this in because you talked about numerology, that you've also said yes to the second Beyond the Shift, which is about intuitive numerology. So I am so looking forward to continuing to work with you after we, finish publishing this, and it's going to be published November the 24th. So that's coming up real soon. Or if you're listening to this at a later date, you can go order it after that date.
Yeah, go buy the book.
Yeah, I want to share too about your specific chapter, Step Up and Own Your Power. And it really does, there is some synergy through the whole book that really is about us owning our power, and so many in all the different stories. But yours specifically talks about rejecting victimhood and owning your personal power, because your story wasn't always that you were madly in love with your husband. And you went through some things to recognize, the victimhood role that we often play, and how that's a choice.
Yeah. And my chapter and my story it's really about my victimhood and my choices to live in that victim energy. Now, I'm not coming here to tell people, oh, if you had some horrible thing happen to you, like, oh, don't be a victim. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, in my own situation, I was failing to really see my strength and my blessings, I guess. I hate bless. I hate it when people talk about, oh, you're blessed, you're so blessed. Yeah, you know what? but really, the strength and the gifts that I had, I was not seeing that for what they were, for the gifts that they really were. So it was so much easier to blame outside influences. And I see it so much in the world. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to live that way. I once had a therapist that was in a networking group with me. And the idea of this group was to, like pass referrals between people, and referrals for him, was always really hard, because how do you tell your friend, dude, you need therapy? I asked him one time, I said, so how do we help our friends come to a yes to giving you a referral? And he's like, it's so easy. Just tell them you don't have to live like that. When they're complaining to you and telling you about how horrible this is or how horrible that is, you don't have to live that way. And that was something that, like, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, you can choose to live differently. And that's kind of how I see it. You get to choose. You get to choose your path.
Mm-hmm. And what a great response he had for people being able to not feel even the victimhood of you need to see somebody, you need to talk.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you need some. And in that particular case, it was a situation where I had a friend who was talking to me about her relationship and her marriage. And it was beyond like, oh, a shoulder to cry on, being a supportive friend. Yeah, you need a professional. Like, it's, like the situation that she was in. I'm like, you need, I can't be, I'm not a therapist.
Right.
I
be
can
that person for you.
Right. I can coach people and help people, and I have a ton of advice, and I've been told I have great advice, but advice is different than therapy. Let's just put that out there, But those words that he spoke, I'm like, that applies to that situation, but it applies to a lot of life. It's our choice. We get to choose how we want to show up.
Mm-hmm.
in this world, in this incarnation, in this reality.
Mm-hmm. Can you repeat that sentence again? Because that was really powerful.
He said, you don't have to live like this.
Yeah.
You don't have to live that way. You don't have to live like this.
How simple is that?
Yeah.
And as a response to someone who is seeking assistance. And one of the underpinnings of the anthology Beyond the Shift, we're not meant to do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
We're not meant to do this deep work, and we think that we have to manage it all, and there's shame around it, and there's all the other deep emotions that we need to work through. We can't do that alone because we have blind spots.
Oh, right. Yes, absolutely.
And so we can't see what's really underneath it all, and to be able to go, here's the layer of it, and then here's what's underneath that layer, and we're still going 7 layers deep to get to what it really is. And so one of the reasons I actually created Beyond the Shift was to bring people who I know, love, and trust to the visions of other people, to say, here are some stories that are really powerful, and here are some people, and here's some of the lessons that they've learned and they've brought forth for you to read about, and see if there's someone here who can assist you.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it. I love that there are so many the stories are so different, and yet there is that common thread that weaves through, like you said, of empowerment. And it's different ways to find, and there's so many different ideas and strategies and stories, and there will be something for everyone in the anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beyond the Shift has something for everyone. I honestly think, even if I read something and I'm like, it doesn't really resonate with me, I think it will later, at another time, at the right moment, it will be like, oh yeah. And interestingly, there are things that I thought wouldn't resonate. That's not for me. And I've read, and I'm like, oh my, yeah, that, oh yeah, I can't wait to try that, So it's been such an expansive experience being part of the part of the group. So
yeah, it's been lovely. And I think too, because I have conversations with each of the authors throughout our time together, and I have one-on-one calls, and every single person has learned something about themselves in writing the chapter, in thinking about what it is that they want to write about and how vulnerable they want to go. And it's the same for myself. Like every call that we have, I walk away with knowing that I've shared something important with the group, but I've learned something important about myself through this whole process. Yeah. It's been a beautiful experience. I'm delighted that you've said yes, and that your story is going to resonate with so many people, because you know what? We are, as a collective, we've kind of been birthed into, so many of us, I can't speak for all of humanity, but so many of us have been birthed into victimhood. And we've been birthed into giving our power away. And your chapter invites people to call their power back.
Yeah, absolutely. In my particular case, it was through a romantic entanglement. I realized I was giving my power away by playing the victim, and oh, woe is me. Oh, I don't deserve better. I really believe that. I really believe, like, no, this is probably the best I can do. So I'll just go along with this. And there was just this sequence of events that all came together. And I was like, you know what? I don't deserve this. I deserve so much better than this. And it was not easy to walk away from that relationship. Not just like for me emotionally, but the logistics and the physically, and setting the boundary and holding the boundary, and seeing the challenges come to it. Different people coming and saying, oh, but maybe just, oh, he's done so much better. He's doing so great. Give him a chance. And I'm just like, no. When I was done, I was done. It was over. It was over before it was over. I had checked out. With each little baby step, I felt my strength grow and my resolve grow. And the pendulum probably swung a little far the other way, because I was just plain mean on some occasions. But then it came back and settled in the center, where I'm like, okay, so I can be strong and own my power without being a complete bitch. I mean, I don't have to be that way. But I think part of it was I was such like a people pleaser, and like, oh, I don't want to upset anybody, and I have to keep the peace and everything, keep everything on an even keel. And I was sacrificing myself to do that. Once I stopped sacrificing myself to do that and allowed other people to take responsibility for their actions, because that's what it's all about, taking responsibility for the choices you make. Taking responsibility is taking your power back. Owning it, taking your power back. Well, I was not allowing other people to do that for themselves. I was, like, oh, I can just make everything okay. And I felt as though I was being a bitch by not doing that anymore. When in reality, I was giving them the gift of the opportunity for them to take back their own power.
Yeah.
So that was a huge lesson for me to learn. There's actually a part in the chapter where it is neither my right nor my responsibility to take the onus for the actions of another person. Their choices are their choices. And it's kind of the difference between being empathetic and being an empath. I've had people tell me, oh, you're such an empath. You're such an empath. I'm like, no, I'm really not. I don't take it on. I can put myself in someone's shoes and be like, wow, that's a tough situation. I don't take those feelings on. They're not mine. That is not mine to do. Yeah. That is their work to do. And I am here to support them in doing that work and helping them find their path and their way. But I am not doing it for them. I can't.
You can't.
I can't do that for them.
Yeah.
So, it's one thing to hold space for somebody, hold someone and see them and hear them and support them. And that is a gift.
Yeah.
And that allows them to take back their power. That allows them to, take responsibility for the choices they made and their actions. And it seems so simple, but
it's hard, because part of what you were talking about when you were the people pleasing part and the things that we do in that role is actually self-protection.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so then we recognize that that's what we're doing, and that is not the gift, right? That's actually hurting the other person and hurting yourself and all of the people who are involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's always more than just the two people.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Especially in the disentanglement of a relationship, but being
Mm-hmm.
able to stand in your own power. And like you say, bit by bit by bit, because it doesn't all happen all at once that you're disempowered and then the next day you wake up and you're fully in your power.
Right. Yeah.
Process, because
it's
a process to get to that place, and then a process to the undoing and the evolving of it, right?
Well, and then part of that process is, who am I? Okay, so if I'm not that person doing that stuff, all tangled up with this and that and taking all this responsibility for all this, what is my responsibility? Who am I? What do I really want? And it's the 3 simple questions. Who am I? What do I want? What's my purpose? Like, what do I want? What am I doing? Yeah. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those 3 questions. And it sounds so simple. Who am I? Oh, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a this. I'm a that. But that's not who I am.
No, the essence of who you are.
Yeah. And it took a lot of digging, and it was crunchy. It was uncomfortable. It was hard, it was like, oh, yeah. But like when you finally have that, that moment, it's like, yes, this is it. Yeah. This is it.
Yeah. And I love that you take people on this journey through your chapter. You let them in to see what all of that looks like and how you came out the other side. And the invitation in your chapter is for them to step up.
Yeah, it gets a little gritty. It's kind of a gritty process, but it has a very happy ending. Yeah. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it's a very happy ending. So,
well, you said that at the beginning of the conversation, where you said that, you and your husband are, it's ridiculous.
We're ridiculous. And I you know what? And I enjoy our ridiculousness unapologetically. Yeah. I really do. It's like, and I feel like people say all the time, oh, marriage is so hard. It's so hard. And I'm like, you know what? If you're with the right person, it's really not that hard. Yeah. And he and I have talked about
sitting in the victimhood of it.
Yeah. He and I have talked about it so many times. So just a little snippet. We knew each other in college, and then we went our separate ways. I graduated, so on. 15 years later, we reconnected. And we joke that had we been together then in college, I would have been his first crazy girlfriend instead of his last crazy girlfriend, because he had some doozies. We both did. We both had so much garbage to work through and so much head trash. And it took us, 15 years to do it. I guess we're both kind of slow learners, but it was all divine timing. That's what it came down to. Mm-hmm. But we've talked about, we're like, it's not supposed to be hard in the movies, on TV, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, it's all so hard. No, it really shouldn't be. If you're on the same page and you share the same, the same ethos, and you have shared beliefs and shared ethics. It's easy. It's easy stuff. I actually just saw someone or heard someone recently say, no, it really shouldn't be that hard. And I'm just like, yes, that's exactly it. I can't remember who it was. I'm like, see, the word is spreading. I'm forever thankful that we got together later in life and didn't try to.
Yeah. And I love that you say that. Not your first crazy girlfriend, but your last crazy girlfriend, like
And it's, I mean, it's true. It's true. He would have hated. I was so insecure and so jealous and so ugh.
Well, like you
It was
say,
awful.
we all have to move through, and relationships is it's the kind of the foundation of who am I in a relationship. It shows up all your stuff. It's
Yep.
all going to come up, and we can clear that before landing into a glorious relationship, right? Like that's what makes it glorious, right? Is that
absolutely.
And it has been such a pleasure chatting with you. I am so thrilled that you've said yes, and that we get to share this story and these 12 stories with people that I really feel are going to help people navigate through whatever it is, wherever they're at in their life right now, and help them to navigate this shift in consciousness, because we all know there's something big going on, and we got clearing to do. We can't shove everything under the carpet anymore.
No,
it's coming up.
Yeah. And the light is shining on it all. So
yeah. And this book and this series is giving people the opportunity to see other people's stories, see themselves in the stories, and see that there is light. We're doing this together, all of us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So
well, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, before we pop off, how can people, they'll find out in the book, but how can people reach you? How would you like people to be able to connect with you?
My website is livingyoursoulscape.com. And I have a Facebook page. Again, Living Your Soulscape. It's on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Although most of my TikTok videos have to do with my gardening and my cat, which is all a big part of the whole soulscape idea of living your authentic life and getting back into a clean lifestyle and connecting with the earth. And that's really my sweet spot. So
I am so happy to share you with the audiences that are growing within our communities, and that the word will spread. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.